Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to make a little table lamp type LED with a button function. If I can pick it up. Functioning like LED lights. So if you hit the button, the light turns on and it doesn't turn off until you hit the button again. So for what you're going to need a microcontroller. I have the ESP32 right here on an extension board. Just makes it easier, powers and grounds both of these rails, gives you a little more space to work with. And then we're gonna need an LED, doesn't matter what color, as long as it has the two prongs, 2 wires, doesn't matter what color, any color. If you want to keep up the ground black wire convention, you can do that, but it really doesn't matter. And then for the LED, it wants a 220 resistor. And then for the button, you need a little 4-prong button. It's going to need 2 10K resistors, and then again 2 wires for it. So we'll hook up this light first. Now you can put it pretty much anywhere you want. You just want to make sure you have the longer end towards the machine, towards the microcontroller. Then you take your resistor, and where that first pin is, you want to put one end of the resistor into that same row, so the rows are cross. It just wants to be in the same row, and then that makes it's in the same circuit now, the microcontroller and the resistor and the LED, they're on the same circuit right there now. So then we just got to connect it. Maybe put it in the same row. So now these ones are in the same row here. And then I'm going to connect this to 15. On the board. It's in that same row. So that's hooked up. Just needs the ground, which we're going to put in that second LED's row. So it's in that row. I'm just going to go all the way over here to the blue side, the ground. And you got your LED hooked up. Now we want to do our button. 4 prongs, just straddle the middle part there. 2 on each side. Then we want to take our resistor, one of our resistors, the 10K, and put it on this first row over here. Hook it up to hook it up in the same row there. And that's going over to the 3.3 volt. And that hooks up to that part of the button. Then we want to take our second one, and we're going to hook this one up just like the LED. So it's going to go in that first row that the pins on the button are on. It's going to go in that same row. And then however far down you want to make it, doesn't really matter. For the other connection end, then you just want to connect the wire into the same row as well as the first end of the resistor. And then we're going to put this over here at 13. So 13 right on the board there. And then last, you take the ground into the second row of pins for the button. So these ones, just line these buttons up, or line these in the same row. And then it comes over and just put it in. If it comes over like here, like where there's no holes, whatever, just put in one of the other grounds. It'll work. And there you go. You got your little light hooked up. Now you just have to write the code. Okay, now we want to write our code. I just have mine already done here. We'll copy and paste all of this and put it in the description so you could just copy and paste it in to your project if you want. I'm using the Arduino IDE. And first you got to select your board. So you go up to Tools, Board. I already have my ESP32 section added. So if you need to add that, you can either Google how to do it or my first video shows you how. Then you go up to ESP32 dev module, or whatever module, I guess, whatever you're using. Then you gotta select your port. This is whatever USB port that your machine's plugged into. Mine is plugged into COM7, and you can find that by looking up ports in your device manager. And then all this code right here, all it's saying, it's just telling you that the LED light is 15, so it's not telling you, I guess. You're just putting the number, you're giving it a name. And then your push button's 13, so this number is just, it's getting a name. That way when you're working on it in a bigger project, not so much right now, you'll be able to just see LED light and you'll know. Instead of like, if you see 15, you're like, is that, not sure exactly what that is, if it's just 15 or if it's the LED light, stuff like that. But for your initial setup, it's just telling you that this pinMode, this 15 is an output, so it's gonna output the light. This pinMode, the push button, it's an input, so it's gonna take when you press the button, that's inputting the button press. Then it's gonna loop through and it's gonna do all this fun stuff here. But after we have this all set up, you're just gonna want to hit upload, this button, the second one here. It's a little arrow, upload. It's gonna take a couple seconds. Once you get to this point, if nothing turns red, you should be good. It should be working. And it's uploaded. Okay, now, after your code, well, before your code's uploaded, I guess, you want to plug this in. Make sure this is plugged in. And it plugs into a USB port on your computer. Then you upload your code. And once that's uploaded, if everything runs fine, your code should do this. You hit the button, the light turns on. It stays on, doesn't turn off. There, so you can see it better. So the light turns on. You hit it again, light turns off. And that's how that works. See you in the next one.